to.
What's good, everyone, and welcome to KB's Community.
Yay.
I am here. I guess we don't have no buttons in here, but I am here today with Greg Connolly.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Greg?
Not too
So,
much.
this is your second time back.
Yeah.
But for the people who are not familiar with you, can you tell everyone what it is that you do creatively, and also a little about yourself as just a person in general?
So I like to start off by saying I'm a family man. I got two beautiful daughters. But other than that, I am a multidisciplinary content creator. So I specialize in photography, videography, and animation. And essentially, I help underrepresented brands and businesses and other things like that, artists, shoot visuals and kind of really get their content out. Because if you've been out in corporate America, when it's underrepresented people or people of color, it's kind of a little harder to get their content out. So I want to be able to be that person or that gateway to kind of help push that. And so that's just what I've been doing and been growing that year by year. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, appreciate that.
So can you tell me about what you have been working on so far this year?
Yeah, so this year it's basically I told myself at the top of the year I wanted to be more consistent on dropping on social media and just do bigger projects with bigger artists or bigger brands. So what I've been fortunate enough to work on is I was able to work with Truth the Bull. He's a very talented artist from Atlanta, but I got the opportunity to do some 3D modeling and animation on one of his projects. And I'll have to post it somewhere, but basically it had a circus, it had 3D elements, it had a whole bunch of dancers and stuff like that.
Nice.
So I was very proud to be a part of that production. And honestly, that was an alley-oop from a homie I met off of social media as well. So always cool. But with that, and then I at the top of the year I created a Kendrick Lamar game demo based off of his last project, the GNX project. Taking quite some time to crank that whole thing out, but like I said, I was able to crank out a trailer, have a little demo level that I got people to play and stuff, so I got some good feedback on that. So
you're actually creating a full game?
So I would like to, but as anybody knows how long we've been waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6, 12 years, it's a long process to create a game, even just one level, and being a solo developer, which I am. I don't really have too many people helping me with it. It's taken quite some time. So what I'm trying to do is find a way to maybe get it funded, whether that's a Kickstart or some clever way to fund it so that I have time to actually work on it. Because I got other projects, I'm a small business, so I got client work I got to do. I got family I got to work on. So it definitely gets pressed to the back burner quite often.
Sure.
Yeah.
So how do you manage to stay on top of your duties as a husband and a father while also staying on top of your creativity and your stuff work and job? No,
that's a good question. I kind of pride myself on that. I always put honestly the time with my family first. And my wife is really supportive and cool enough. So usually by the time we put the kids to bed, 6, 7 o'clock, I'm able to hop out, into the office and crank out some work. So I'm usually able to get about 3 or 4 hours at night, do that. I do have our youngest in part-time daycare, which also gives me some daytime hours to do emails, get some shoots done and stuff like that. But it's been a process that my wife and I have been working out and adapting with just her job and my other jobs and stuff like that. So it's just been a growing process, it seems like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is it that keeps you motivated to do the creative stuff?
Yeah. Sounds like super cliche. I would say what keeps me motivated is myself. It's something I'm really passionate about. Mm-hmm. So, and the thing is, also it's I see the small pieces or steps I'm taking to my success or towards my goal. So that really motivates me to continue. Cause I even posted a couple days ago about, man, life really gets you sometimes. And it's shit, but then also it's stuff in life that like shows that like, damn, I'm meant to do music, or damn, I'm meant to do video and like visual content. So it's kind of crazy how that works out, because like there's been many times where it's like I'm trying to do the creative thing, and then life's like, hey, you got a kid on the way, hey, medical bills, this and that, and it's just
always an alley-oop, right?
Yep, always an alley-oop. But what I found would really help me out of that was being consistent, people seeing me working. So like, I don't know if with like divine timing, I'm not really religious, but like it always seems to line up where it's like, oh, medical bills, we're in some trouble. Oh, a really big paying job comes through, or like, hey, I'm able to get like a nice paying gig, and then like that works out. So I don't know, but like the reason I felt like that worked out is because I've always been working, even when it's like going well. I'm working, even when I'm tired, I'm working, you know. So like I definitely take breaks in there. But you gotta it kind of gotta like self-motivate yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
and I feel like as long as you're helping yourself and working towards your purpose, a higher power is always going to support you in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Even if you're not religious.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, even if you're not spiritual, if you're a good person, you don't even have to really be aware of the fact that everything is working in order to support you, because like in the end, you're going to see that everything literally works to support you when you're a good person and working to support your people and yourself.
And I kind of want to touch on that facts. Being a good person, I know with being in our creative field, like I feel like that's underappreciated,
very
or it's
much
like
so.
super rare. So I feel like obviously having the skill set, but being a good person that people can depend on has honestly gotten me more jobs than anything. Like even instead of like, oh, he's really got the camera, it's been like, hey, I know Greg's going to get this deadline done. I know he's going to be professional with the work. I know he's going to, you know, just like how we pull up, like it's not a problem for me to pull up on you, or like vice versa. Because it's like, I know it's going to be on time. I know it's going to be professional, and I know it's going to be that respect there. You know?
Exactly. And people, at least most people, can sense when you are genuine or not. And honestly, that's the number one important thing to me.
Yeah. And I had somebody say that when I was at the barbershop. They were like, and it was like one of the first times, like, hey man, I mess with you because you're like a genuine dude. Because like people like to say like I might code switch, you know, being in a business area, or like but it's like I never switch like my morals or my principles, or like how I like talk to people. Like you could be a millionaire janitor, like we talked about last time, I'm going to treat you with the same respect, because to me, your career doesn't mean anything. Like how you treat people and like all that stuff, I think it matters a lot more than the money.
For sure. I 100% agree. Okay, so you said something about code switching, which is interesting because I literally was just thinking about that to myself a couple days ago. Okay, so explain like in what senses and what worlds you feel like you've had to like code switch, or only show certain sides of your personality, or showcase, because we went to the same high school, showcase your Menominee Falls accent versus your I'm with my family, like my extended, my cousins and all that, you know, because for a lot of people, especially a lot of Black people, that is a very real thing.
So when I've had to use it, I would say, I don't know how I'm going to frame this in a politically correct way, but predominantly white areas, whether that's school or it seems like a lot of time work, you know, job and stuff. So I think I would code switch then. And then, like you said, it definitely happens when, you know, talk my regular self or normal, you know, when I'm with the family, friends, stuff like that. And also I would say when I was younger, I used to kind of think it was like a negative thing. But kind of being older, it is just a time and a place.
And to be honest, it's a survival skill.
Yeah. So, but I do feel like it's a positive survival skill. I think it's giving me the opportunity to give a different perspective because I'm a person of color, but then also being able to efficiently, in their way, effectively communicate it also like helps me go further too. So it's like, I but also being older now, I find myself doing it less and kind of trying to be more in my genuine self. But you know, I do notice, I feel like opportunities also aren't necessarily there in corporate America if you don't speak the language.
Absolutely. And then do you sometimes feel like it's kind of natural, like both are actually you, because that's what I was thinking about the other day. I'm like, I feel like both are me, but the thing is, it's kind of like if you go to a different country and you're gonna use like their lingo a little bit more, right?
That's good.
Let's say Spain and Puerto Rico don't speak like the same
like Spanish,
exactly.
Yeah.
So people kind of discredit the fact that Black people, our culture really has created a way of speaking, to the point where like everybody is using it now on social media and now in real TikTok, life because of social media. So like I think we can acknowledge that it is like kind of a language in its own, you know?
Yeah.
So why do you think that like we still see that as negative when other people are using it now?
Ooh. I mean, we could go into some like conspiracy theories, but I mean, it's the systematic racism that's been in place. I would say, all the media and how everything portrays it makes it seem like it's negative. But like you said, it's always seems like our culture is the thing that's pushing the fun forward, the entertainment, all that other stuff. So I don't know. It's weird because I have a love-hate relationship with that part of media for that reason. But
for sure, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think people, like I said, they notice what like how positive or beneficial African American or African culture is to the world. So
yeah,
it's just there's things that are like, hey, we're just gonna point at the negative aspects and then manipulate it in a way that everybody else looks at it like like rap music. Like I'm saying, like, for example, you would say like an alternative hip hop as opposed to like the low end shit or low end stuff. Low end stuff.
You can cuss if you want on here. It's not the radio.
Yeah. So like, I don't know, there's just like different sides to every coin
for sure,
dice or whatever you want to call it. But they don't allow our people to really showcase that.
Yeah. And back to me saying like you feel like both parts are you, because the thing is, when you grow up with your family and your cousins and your grandparents and whatever, there is a certain side that you are exposed to. And then if you go to school or grow up in the suburbs, that becomes a part of how you genuinely speak and who you are as well. So it's not like code switching is being fake. It's just like any other culture, honestly, shows like, naturally is something else with their family, and then something else in like corporate worlds and whatever else. I don't think it's just a Black thing. Actually,
no, like you kind of said, honestly, it's almost like assimilation is the word we're looking for.
Yes, that's it.
And like you said, immigrants have to do that.
Exactly.
So I think it's just our way of surviving in different areas where we know we're kind of already a target or looked to as less than. So I think that's just like a defense mechanism that we use.
Yes.
But like you said,
in a tool.
Also, in a tool. But like you said,
tool.
I do think it's both sides of it. Because even like when you were saying that, it made me think of like even how you are with your family, especially like your parents, as opposed to you are with your friends. You're different. So I think it's just like, I just take it as another form of that,
right? So, and it's not like it's not all your personality. You just choose who to show. What like, sides of your personality.
Because I feel like we're good at. Well, we talked about this last time, but like we're able to do that in high school. Because like I said, I was able to maybe do the anime stuff, more nerdier things. But I would, showcase that a little bit more with those people.
Yeah.
Maybe talk about sports and do sports things a little bit more with the jocks. That I was.
You were in football too, right?
So like, I was able to do that. So it was just like, but like I said, it was all me. Like I watched Dragon Ball Z, played football, I made videos, stuff like
just
that.
Different aspects of your
so I think it's just like you said, different aspects. Because like with something you do that you don't think people would think you do. Probably music. Damn near didn't know you did the music.
Honestly, music. So, this.
So.
Especially if you knew me younger.
Facts.
Like even you and like you knew me in high school, I was kind of quiet. That's because I was selective. I've always been selective with like who I show my full personality to.
And is that a defense mechanism, or like maybe dig a little bit deeper?
It could be.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Because you feel like you couldn't be, or like, did you feel like you had to tone down the white side when you were with your family or
absolutely?
Yeah,
because I'm gonna tell you something right now. We definitely at one time me and my sister got introduced to somebody's cousin as these are my cousins. They were raised like white people.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, so you got the Oreo, got all that.
Yeah, all that. Like, honestly, I couldn't win.
Yeah. Because also too, that's okay. We could talk about that being African American kids from the suburb. Because I also dealt with that too. I mean, obviously family, you know, we overcame that, but it was also my family is like a first or second generation of like making it out to like the suburbs.
Mine too.
Yeah.
First.
Yep. Okay. First, I think mine were too. And instead of my family being happy, they kind of started to like kind of started to hate on it. Would say little slick remarks,
100%,
stuff like that. And honestly, I was like the one of the first sentences where I'm like, damn, like people say family's supposed to be this and that kind of started. I'm like, oh damn, family's kind of the first example of it.
They're number one haters, I promise.
Yeah, so it's like
oftentimes
notice stuff like that and whatever. But then I would go to like something in Milwaukee or whatever, and they'd be like, oh yeah, you talk white or this and that. But then it's like I go to the suburbs and they're like, you know, making fun of my lips or like doing other stuff because I'm black. So it's like you don't fit in anywhere and shit like that. So I also felt like I was a defense mechanism
for sure.
For me to be
I can tell you I felt the same way.
Facts, yeah. So it's like, but to me, it like just kind of like broke my heart where you're like, damn, people ain't even happy for the family, bro. I remember
it's very alienating.
Yeah, it is. So it's like, I feel like wish people kind of would talk about that aspect of the black culture because it's also like it's not always
it's a big part of it.
Thug stuff or whatever. It's like, but it's like
we can't even accept
the success.
You can't accept your own first cousins.
Facts.
You can't accept your own brothers and sisters because of the fact that you're jealous they made it out and you like. And the thing is, they can do nothing but show love and support, but they're always going to find something wrong with you just because of the fact they're jealous of
which is
of the way you lived versus how they lived their lives.
So like that kind of makes me go back though, because all that being said, I felt like I still, I'm definitely jaded being older now, but I felt like I felt that, but also that just made me want to, I don't know if I necessarily want to be myself, but just like start to be comfortable with myself. And so like, I think we just had to deal with that. I think with you getting your opportunities and all these other things, like with the ability to be able to adapt or code switch, as people would say, I mean, do you think you would have got there without having to face that adversity or like some stuff like that? It's same. And like, I was thinking about that a couple of days where I'm like, me dealing with that just made me comfortable in myself, knew what I added value with and just other stuff like that, where now being 32, I think I'm kind of cool. Like if you don't mess with me, you don't mess with me.
Yeah, exactly.
If you do, you do.
Yes.
But like I said, I think people can tell when you're a good person. Either they try to leech off of it or they do alley-oop with the opportunities.
That part, yes.
So it's like
100%.
So then like what are ways do you see people nowadays kind of try to leech off positive energy, especially with like your new gig at the radio?
So here's the thing. Not even just like the radio thing, but I can say I have seen a lot more of that too now. And
positive or just like
little of both. But I can tell you I got the radio gig because of a guest from the podcast.
Nice.
I don't know if you've heard of Cartier Chris.
Yeah.
So he was a guest and like I guess he just saw it in me and he had me as a guest on his radio show and then introduced me to the owner and just from there. So yeah, there are definitely some genuine people and there are, to be honest, more leeches. Yeah. Which is why it makes it hard to get to let anybody close enough for you to tell the difference at some point.
Yeah, that's facts. Because also I feel like even with just the creative field we're in, and especially the area, it's like you hear about people getting finessed or
for sure. I got scammed.
So,
and by a big name I got scammed. I'll say it right now. I got scammed. Yeah. And like, to be honest, that was embarrassing to admit.
Yeah.
Because to be like, in my head, something didn't seem right.
Yep.
But in my heart, it was, why would this this person from this older generation who is managing like these more popular artists. Like, why would he pretend to be so supportive? And like, you know, and the thing is, I knew him for like a year, maybe a little less. I would say about a year.
Yeah.
And so you just don't expect it. And then he decided to argue with me.
Yeah.
A couple of months ago, actually.
Well, like, didn't
like a month or two ago.
Nothing, right?
I don't. The thing is, I have receipts. Yeah. I posted the receipts. Yeah.
But here's what's crazy is you don't even get
I'm not like that at all. But to be honest, my protective instinct came out. Yeah. Like, not just for myself, but for the fact that you are literally out here scamming these like unsuspecting people who just have a dream and are trying to make it and think you're somebody who can help them because of the fact that you're like convincing them and stealing their money. Maya P was still in high school when he started managing her. She was like 17.
Damn.
Yeah. Really? Yana was 19.
Yeah.
So he was just taking advantage of these people. Very young. Yeah. And to see him pop back up on somebody's music podcast, it really pissed me off. And like, it was
accountability for that. Nothing.
Yeah, and nothing. He was out here talking about how he started a new management company and how he's out here helping artists and blah blah blah. And then that's when I was like, that's when my instinctive,
decided,
yes. And then I said something under the post like, you got like artists, whatever you do not work with him. And I was like, where's my $600 scales? Because it was 800, right? Yeah. But after me heckling him for a month, he sent back 2. And still never the 6.
The rest,
and that was literally right. I could tell he was getting desperate, and then literally 2 or 3 days later was when Maya P called him out for forgetting her. So I'm like, maybe he was stealing from me and other artists to pay her so she would be quiet, which is what it seems like. But to come back out and argue with me, he was calling me a clout chaser and anything I'm doing. Nobody listens to me unless it's about him. And like, and how he like made my career. Nigga, I met you when I already started everything I was doing and made all of my own connections. Like, literally, who are you?
Yeah, no, but that's crazy that like, it's just like, because I've noticed it's kind of interesting that like happened to you, because also then I see like the distrust on the videographer side. So it's like anytime I try to do business with an artist, bro, the amount of distrust, or even like I had it one time where it's like, you know how I run a business, like I got contracts, I got all the stuff
as you should
have. And like people get so scared when I like be like, hey man, like I'm down to do the shoot, just gotta sign this contract, et cetera, et cetera. Motherfuckers like, oh bro, I'm like, bro, you're not signing a 360 deal or nothing.
Signing your life away.
I'm like, chill. So it's just like interesting that like that happened, but then it's like the audacity of him to circle back and like try to do it again.
That part. But guess what? He's been circling back for at least 5 years is what I've heard. 5 to 10 years. Like, but doing it first, it was as an artist, then as a promoter, and then as a manager. But he was coming back during different waves and with different like generations. So the thing is, once somebody forgets, but the thing is, we're not gonna let you forget now because we have the internet and we use it. Like, but the thing is, even after that, I've seen somebody commented on his stuff like, we know, like these people are just hating on you, Unc, and like you're just, know. I'm just like, go ahead and keep sucking people's dick if you want.
Yeah.
But
you'll be the first one to get
you'll be next.
Too.
Exactly.
So it's
you'll be next.
So it's like, how do you? Because that makes me kind of want to go on like professionalism. How do you kind of get the scammers out of there from actual people you can work with, especially when it comes to like the creative field?
You just got to look for the signs and you got to know what to look for. Yeah. To be honest, you can Google. And honestly, it really does come with experience. And it comes with experience and knowledge. Because the thing about scammers are the fact they get over on so many people because they're good at it.
Yeah.
And they're great at lying. And they're good at convincing you that they care about you. And like, so you just really, it's about discernment and experience. And you just to be honest, it's hard to know until you know. And so it's really that decision. Are you going to trust this person or not? But always look for red flags and signs first.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I saw the red flags, but like I said, my heart was stronger than my head.
Yeah.
And I wanted to trust him. So I decided to. And that was a downfall.
That's the worst, ain't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, that gut feeling.
Like it didn't sound right to me. It didn't seem right.
Yeah.
And it sounded real scammy.
Yeah.
But because of who he was and because the level of trust that he literally worked to instill in me.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. It's kind of scary. Yeah. It's not kind of scary. It's very scary.
So then I guess being already kind of having to go through the treacherous just like journey that is an independent artist, like do you think you'll ever like try to actually get a manager? Do you think you're gonna do like label stuff?
I have one.
Oh, okay. So,
yeah, but it was also when me and my manager had a disconnect. Was really when he kind of snuck in there.
Of course, because he damn near.
Yep.
So damn, they really.
So yeah, and like, so with the manager that I'm with, while we had a little rift or whatever. The thing is, I still could tell that he was still a good person and someone who you could trust and who wasn't going to get over on you. And that's kind of the difference. And also somebody who has the ambition for it, even if he's not like, if they're not exactly like where they want to be.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about growing a team together as well.
Facts.
So, like, to be honest, none of us are exactly where we want to be.
Nope.
So the thing is, we all have different talents, different skills that we can bring together in order to make it work and in order to get there. You know,
it just sucks because, like you said, that it's like you got the
weeding people
out.
Yeah,
the weeding people out.
It sucks.
It's like you said, like a lot of us are working other jobs. So the fact that, you know, you're compiling $500 for a music video or, you know, $800 for, I don't know what he was about to do, but like basically, I don't know, man, to me, that just is really crappy.
Yeah.
But then also,
and it's like, you know, artists at this stage are struggling. So why are you doing that? Come on.
Facts. But also, okay, so like I don't live in Milwaukee anymore, but like even just growing up, it just seems like, I don't know if it's like a Chicago, Detroit, Milwaukee thing. It always seems like scam culture has always been huge. So like,
it is.
What I'm saying? Like
100%.
Being, you know, when I was younger, being in Milwaukee, damn near taught me not to trust shit. So when like stuff happens elsewhere, I'm the first thing I'm like, that doesn't feel right, or that doesn't lock that up or something like that. So like, I don't know. I feel like that's another reason like we are getting the success, but I think that's what's also hindered our success is just like when somebody does get up on the rung on the ladder, they're down there trying to finesse the people or gatekeep it or stuff like that. And then also I think the lack of professionalism sometimes also kind of kills us, because I feel like
tell me about it.
Yeah, they kind of have to recognize like it's a time and a place to act a certain way. You know, you get on Kai Cenat stream or get on a certain stream, you know, I think you got to take that opportunity, because those guys are bigger regardless of anyone from Milwaukee. Like, sorry to say that, but like,
they are.
You got to use those opportunities to like put a good light on Milwaukee or like basically upgrade yourself. I don't know if that's the good word, but I don't know. I've just noticed that too. And like, that was also what kind of took me from the music scene a little bit to more like business.
I would say
like other stuff.
Taking old attitudes into new environments.
Damn.
And that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't mess with that.
Yeah, no, not at all.
You got to be humble.
When a lot of money's involved.
When you first starting, especially. Yeah, sorry, continue.
No, my bad. I was just saying, like, especially when money's involved, it's like the things that are actually giving people the money, these rappers or any of that stuff, money are brands and like businesses. So it's like, it's going to be some politically correct, or like you got to kind of color inside the lines if you're wanting to reach a certain like pay scale, I feel like.
Right, and especially if you're trying to be mainstream.
Exactly. Because even like not even rapper wise, I don't go too crazy on social media, because like nowadays, especially in 2025, like I've had a couple jobs just also, you know, they're like, oh, they searched me up on LinkedIn, or like, hey, they viewed my page on Facebook or something like that. Because, you know, I got those little things. So it's like people really got to be careful what they post on social media, because honestly, I feel like what you post on social media really be kind of screwing people out of their opportunities.
I agree.
There's a really talented artist, and I go on his page, and he's Mr. Swiss Cheesem 357. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's talking about getting a video, big bro, all this other stuff. It's like,
I don't trust you're not gonna set me up.
Yeah, so
you're
I'm
gonna
like,
backdoor me, like
literally, you're not about to backdoor me, kind
sure.
of deal. So, and just like other stuff like that, I think really like messes people up. Or a nice, a young lady, she'll post something that's a little raunchy and it's gonna get the likes and views, so she's monetized on Facebook. But what
is that doing for your professional?
Yeah,
career?
Probably not. We try to be a nurse.
The thing is, if you are, because the thing is, there are some people who are full time pursuing their creativity, but the thing is, if that's not what you're doing currently, you do still, even if like I understand wanting to express yourself fully, but if you're still trying to pursue a traditional corporate day job, whatever you want to call it, like, to be honest, you do have to watch what you post.
And so like I would say that, like, even now I had a medical situation in the family where it just kind of started affecting us financially, but because I was always posting, I have like a pretty, I would say, good standing on social media. I'm not really ever posting anything crazy. Post my family, post my business, maybe some political stuff against some I would say blatantly racist stuff, blatantly negative stuff that I don't really like. So but I say that to essentially say that, like, it's gotten me some of these opportunities, because I actually, one of the people that was part of the hiring group, he followed me on social media for years, and so he was really able to vouch for my like work, was able to vouch for like my attitude. He saw that like I was dedicated to what I was doing and stuff like that. And so I ended up getting an opportunity based off of that. And that's honestly how I've gotten a lot of my opportunities. So I think just people need to be more conscious of like being that.
For sure. Some people just don't care though. It's the truth. Some people just do not care.
So then like I've always wanted to ask too, with it being an independent artist, and like I used to rap a couple years ago and stuff, not very good, not doing shows or anything like you, but like, what is your end goal? It just seems like nowadays it's super hard to be like an music artist, much less with all the money you guys got to put up. And it seems like the end goal as far as like a superstar or like any of this kind of just isn't really a thing nowadays. So it's like,
I just want to be a lucrative independent artist who gets paid off of not just music but creativity. And to be honest, I have a lot of different business ideas, because I believe music, honestly, music money in itself is not sustainable. You have to, once you get a bag, you have to invest it in different things.
That's fact.
And so honestly, like, the end goal is really just to be a businesswoman and to be able to focus on my creativity. And I kind of want to be like Rihanna, where I make music when I want to, and still have like all this other stuff going for me,
I feel that, because I feel like I kind of have that's like what I want. It's like I don't necessarily want to be like the most famous videographer or like business owner or anything, but like, so I want it to be lucrative enough for me to be able to spend time with my family, create some cool
live
shit,
comfortably.
Live comfortably. But like you said, then also have the freedom to do what I want to, because also like I've worked videography in a career. I've done it, hobby, freelance and stuff like that. And there's been a lot of times I maybe have to work on stuff I don't necessarily love. So being able to, step back and be able to do that and be more selective, where I'm like, nope, I want to do this project. Or like, oh, George Lucas hit me up to work on the next Star Wars. Like, that's something I've been wanting to do. That's a dream. Like, I want to work on that, as opposed to being like, no disrespect, but like little Ray hit me up for a music video about the same, drill shit that we always hear about. It's like, little less likely to have to take something like that.
I feel you. So you basically you want to be able to afford to work with people whose art and music you're passionate about.
Exactly.
Yes, and not just anybody or anything that comes your way.
And I've even had to do, I'm not, like you said, we're not anywhere where we want to be now, but I think even me being more selective in that in the last few years have also helped me too, because instead of like, obviously the quality and quality and quantity, they always talk about that, but I've been noticing like the 3 videos I did here that I did some really cool effects and that were really different, I feel like pushed me further or gave me more opportunities than the 7, copy and pasted music videos I worked on.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the same type of fulfillment, So yeah. I just think also you got to do what you're passionate about, because like you said, we got jobs. So you got to do something that you're going to be excited about outside of your 9 to 5. So
100%.
Yeah, that's why I've been working on like that game, because I was a huge gamer being younger. Wiz Khalifa, I did a Wiz Khalifa animation because like I just remember him in high school. It's just really nostalgic for me. Yes. And when he said Cushion OJ2 was dropping, I'm like, I remember the first one being getting in my car, riding around with the friends, not having any worries and stuff like that. So I just been trying to do stuff that really speaks to me, because it's like it takes 2 to 3 months for me to make an animation, or like I'm being getting a lot quicker than that, but it takes some time. So it's like, and when the kids are just not sleeping and it's 11 o'clock, I'm like, bro, this is gonna be so fire. Maybe I could send it to Wiz or something, but it's just like you gotta push through.
Yeah, for sure.
And
then, it's about the pushing through, because sometimes you just don't want to do it.
Yeah. And that's true, because I've been having to get a lot better at that too. In my 20s, I would say I was always trying to like, push through, because the sooner I knock this stuff out, the sooner the success is going to come. And then you don't realize you burn yourself out quicker that way. So being 100%. 30 now, I've been really like, my neck hurts a little bit or something, or like my wrist hurts, maybe not tonight or whatever, or like, the kids are being not really sleeping well. Hey, take a break, because I've noticed when I come back, I'm fresher. It seems like I'm able to be a little bit more efficient, because like sometimes you can be in the studio, I imagine, for 5 hours, and if that idea or that song just doesn't come together, it's almost like not going to come together.
Yeah, so exactly.
You got to like step back, maybe go to the lake, and then you're able to write to the chorus on Back to the Shore.
How I be doing that?
If I live close to the lake, I would, man.
Listen, that's how I finished the EP I'm working on now.
Shit, yeah. Speak a little bit more about that too, because I know with all the stuff
you've been doing, Greg.
I know, but like I also, I'm with the family. I don't get to see the homies too much, so it's definitely like it's a little holiday when I get to pull up on you in your spot. And like I said, I've always been interested in the music, so it's super cool to see you doing the music at a high level.
Thank you.
And so I kind of want to hear about it, because obviously we're going to shoot something in a little bit here. So like, if you could just kind of tell us what's different from this first, because you dropped is this your first project?
This is my first project ever.
Okay. Yep. I thought you put a compilation of your last few singles on something, but so why did you, because you've been doing music for a few years, why did you wait until now for the first project? And I guess what is the story behind this project? I would love to know.
So honestly, before, when I very, very, very first started writing and like recording, I was not at all like in the scene. I wasn't networking. I just wanted to make music. Okay. So there was that, but then at some point, like I just kind of I was interested to see what the scene was all about, and would go to like shows occasionally, just started meeting people. And then I don't know, from there, like I just kind of, people started getting familiar with me. And another, like, so yeah, to be honest, I wanted to do my networking first. I wanted to build my name and build my brand. And the thing is, people mess with you on a personal level before they mess with whatever your product is. So it's about making your impression first. And well, for me, at least it was. And then, secondly, I just didn't think that musically, I didn't think my sound was ready for like a full project. But now I feel like I've really come into myself. I've come into my own sound. I feel like I've like gotten better when it comes to like cadences and putting emotion into my music, and not just saying the words that I wrote. And when I wrote the words, it was emotional. But then like when I was new into the studio, it's like I wanted to do everything sonically perfect. And then I would be really hard on myself when I couldn't. But then I realized it's just about getting better and also adding your personal character to it. And you don't have to be the best singer in the world if you can make it sound good. Like you can make something sound good and not be a great singer. You just have to find your sound, you have to find your bag, and you have to make it unique.
That's real too, because like, do you feel like that lined up with the same time as you kind of finding yourself as a, I don't necessarily want to say like woman or man, but like, I feel like there is a pretty big difference from our 20s to like our 30s. I do feel like 20s prepared me for now, but like, can you just tell me like, do you feel like that was key in like?
Absolutely. Because to be honest, I don't even think I fully knew myself until I was 30. And then it's like, you probably know, like when you're 25, it's like a flip switches in your brain. Or switch flips in your brain. I got you. You feel me? But anyway, like what's crazy is they don't tell you that happens again at 30. At least it did for me. Yeah. I don't know if it did for you. But it's just like more maturing and just like more coming into yourself, less caring about other people's thoughts,
Exactly. I think 30, but damn near a little earlier for me was just because I had my kids. I think I had them at like 25, 26, I think closer to 26. But just knowing that I had to move differently than I was, I was a little bit more hot-headed back in the day. So like now definitely a lot more patient. Maybe I was more likely to wear like Supreme or have to flex on niggas. Now, I'm wear plain t-shirts and jeans because I know the kids gonna make me play in the backyard or something, so I do feel that. And what I like though is like I find myself being proud of the decisions and like how I got here. Like I might not be able to always hang out with the homies as much as I would like and all this other stuff, but like when I get to see my kids, go to kindergarten or like pull up on you and you're doing good, or like see something on social media with the homie I haven't, like that stuff makes me feel good, because it's just like for like 20, it was all about like having fun and figuring it out.
Yes.
And 30 is kind of like, all right, you had your fun and figured it out, but how much?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I got decisions that like I would say like even getting into my career after college, like now we're 5-6 years into our career to where like if you want to do something else, kind of fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
Because like
oh my gosh, believe me, yes.
So I was running into that problem because like with the Wisconsin videography and like the stuff I do is kind of not really like it's sought after, but it's more definitely like a luxury. So it's like if I go on Indeed or anything like that, man, I'm scouring that shit just to even find any video opportunities. So it's like, I don't know. So I don't know, man. It's just interesting how that stuff really plays out.
It really is. And honestly, like I'm gonna say 13-year-old me, 17-year-old me, 21-year-old me would not have expected me to be who I am or doing what I am.
Do you think they would be proud, or you think they'd be
I think so, but I think they'd be confused. Like, oh, we went the complete opposite way.
So.
Especially because I was so like shy and timid, and I cared so much about what people thought about me back then.
But that even makes it like cool now, because like you said, the fact that you are like, which is crazy, like you said, you're doing that, but the fact that you're managing 2 shows that you speak on, speak on, and ask other people, to me that's like super dope to see that evolution. Like I said, I might not be able to always hit people up or like hang out, but like the fact that like I do know kids, like you and I used to talk.
Always show support. Show support. I can't talk today. You always show support when you can, though.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like it's so easy to show support. It is. Where like
so you have to actively try not to.
That's what I'm saying. Because like I literally, and even I was talking to my wife about this. It's where like even if I don't like something, I find something or an aspect I do like, and will tell a person that too. Maybe if it's like not the greatest song, doesn't have the greatest chorus or something, but there was like a couple bars in there I liked, or a good 30-second session. I can't even fucking talk either. Segment in there, it's just like I don't know, man. I just know what a positive thing could do more so than a negative, and that's kind of always been the type of guy I am. Like it's more energy to be negative and be mean as opposed to being like cracking a joke or being like, oh yo, this is dope, because like shit, I wish I had somebody say that to me a little bit more. I really had to get on my anime shit and had to be like, nobody believes in me. Like, I gotta do it. Blah blah blah. Goku wouldn't do this, type shit. Like I really be on that shit sometimes, because it's like it's hard, man.
That's the progression of any type of independent creative.
Facts, man. Like you don't know, like pushing through.
Everybody
man.
gets to that point.
So
where it's like nobody is It's like F everybody,
Yep.
but then you kind of get past it where it's like, I don't really care. Like, I'm gonna support who supports me and still F the rest of y'all.
Yeah.
But, I'm not gonna be as angry about it. I don't care anymore, but still F y'all.
I feel like we are, even though you and I are on that same part where like a couple of years back, I used to just be angry about it. And now I've really just accepted what I can add to situations and
exactly
accepted what has come to me. Cause like you said, if you think about it, the fact that you got an EP coming out, the fact that you're doing music, performing in front of people, got these shows.
I wouldn't even my mom was obsessed with karaoke. And she would like have it every time that we had people over. I would not even do karaoke in front of family and close friends. Like, that's how shy and reserved I was.
Damn.
And now I'm like literally making my own songs, performing my own songs, releasing them for anybody to judge. Like, okay.
Yeah. But that's kind of where I got to, where like, I picked up the camera and was shooting videography, shooting music videos for the first 2 years. And I'm like, why are these not getting the views? Why are these rappers not hitting me up? And I just had to be like, it's damn near maybe just not time.
Yeah.
And thinking about it now from 32 to when I started, probably, which was like 24, 25, it's like I wasn't ready back then. Like, that's another
Even
part.
If you think you are.
Yeah, you're not.
Because you see, like, later you look back and you see where you've grown from there, and you're like, okay, I really wasn't ready there.
Facts.
I'm ready now, but back then, no.
Well, like, because like even with like, and I find this like, this is just me looking in the positive of stuff, but like there's been some jobs I've had where, didn't necessarily end on the way I would like them to, but like I find myself going back to be like, well, I'm glad I had to deal with this certain type of situation. Or like, there's times where, because I'm freelance, so I'm able to like get plugged into either like a ad agency and create videos for them, or I can like help one small team or like an artist like you and shoot a music video. But what I like about the job experience I had previously is that like I know how to do that. I've been in those environments to where it's like I get thrown into a fire necessarily. I kind of know how to navigate it. It's not as like scary, stuff like that. So it's just kind of all interesting how like stuff you do in your past and just what you thought was, 2025 was going to be like. It definitely hasn't panned out like how I thought it either. So it's just really interesting.
But the thing is, you still see as much as you see like where things aren't where you wanted them to be.
Yeah.
You see where you have received like jobs, blessings, or whatever that you didn't even expect to get, and like, things that you didn't even think you would be doing.
Yeah.
So.
And I like, we were talking off cam. I feel like just me being a good person, honestly, is giving me those opportunities. Because like, I feel like when you're giving someone like a suggestion or like, hey, what's a good restaurant to get fish from? JJ's probably not the best place, but like, you're like, but like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, if you were to tell me like, hey, JJ's was that, and then this other spot's it, I respect your opinion. Stuff like that, to where, I'm going to be more likely to go elsewhere because you said something.
Yeah.
And I just feel like being on the positive side is that is good. Cause I've had it where, I post 3D stuff, and how I even got that Atlanta artist thing. It was like the guy, he see me posting 3D stuff just on there, and he was like, hey bro, would you want to help me on this? Like, it's kind of a lot for one person. We split it in half, we can knock it off, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, shit, I don't really got time. It's like the week before Christmas. Like, no, but then part of me was like, if I can knock this out, it'd be a good look for me. It'd be a good just thing I can showcase for myself, but like for them. So it's just like, sometimes you just gotta also like apply this shit, or just like do shit that you don't even think you're qualified for. Because like, how did you even get the opportunity for this radio? Like the first one, I know you got a couple.
Do you know how? No. Because I'm gonna tell you right now.
For somebody that didn't talk, like how you did,
because to be honest, I went through so many injustices.
Yeah.
That. Well, actually, no. But even before that, I really wanted a podcast.
Yeah.
I just wanted one. To be honest, I think I manifested this.
Facts.
Like, I 100% did, because I was meeting a friend. It was my first time ever at Sherman Phoenix. I was meeting a friend for a drink, and then she wasn't here on time, and so I was just wandering around, and then the security guard gave me a tour. RIP to him. He passed in a in
a
car crash, unfortunately.
Damn.
But no, he was just giving me a tour.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Dre. But yeah, and he introduced me to Tone because I was like, whoa, what is this? A podcast?
Yeah.
And I looked in both and I met Tone and he liked my energy. Yeah. He could tell that I had a story to tell just from our first sit down. And honestly, I was going to make it more about personal experiences.
Yeah.
But then I didn't want it to just be about me. So like it evolved into me like wanting to hear other people's stories as well, you know?
Wow, that's super cool how
the universe delivered it.
But that's what like
and what's weird is I was seeing the word Phoenix everywhere for a couple months, and then I go into the Sherman Phoenix, met this guy, and right away.
Well, that's crazy because like any other security guard would have tossed you out. So like it's crazy how you first of all saw Phoenix, manifested it, and then like how it happened, because like it's just like. But like, what even caused it? Like you said, with you just being a positive person and a genuine person, they felt that energy. And I don't know, man. I feel like, the universe
energy speaks for itself. I'm telling you. And yes, when you're a good person, and when I tell you, I went through hell.
Yeah.
And it was literally like a month or two after okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. I lost a job as a Montessori school teacher because the only Black kid in my class, an 18-month-old when he first started, 18 months to 2 when I knew him, was being bullied by the lead teacher. And she was super racist. Yeah. And what's odd is they literally just started hiring Black people that year. And they threw me and 2 other Black women in the room with this super racist woman who was mistreating the only Black kid in our class. And then like at some point, and she was treating us like slaves. Like all the physical work she wanted us to do, she wouldn't let us do lesson plans and all that. She wouldn't let us really input our ideas. But and then she just like started snitching on me for false things. Then they literally had people watching me, lying on me. And I went on vacation to LA. I came back. I worked a day and a half. I was called into the office. And they told me that I didn't fill out a slip to be gone and nobody knew I was going. And it was all lies. And what's crazy is they were aside from bullying the only fully Black kid in our class, we had an autistic child who was half Black and half white. And she would purposely separate him. She would she was just nasty. Like she literally purposely got him kicked out. And when he would do things like flipping the light switch, and you know how kids with autism, they just like to be stimulated. They like stimulation, and they do things, they are stimulated differently. And she was like, 2 more weeks, I can't wait. I'm just like, you are sick. Like a sick individual.
Well, see, that's the thing.
I got fired for nobody knowing I was going when I put slips exactly where they went, and they disappeared. So it was bad. So I went through that, and there's one friend who I literally was one of her child's first teachers. And she was white, and she worked in the classroom next to mine. And then when they started doing weird stuff to me, they switched me to that classroom when they wanted to start trying to
get you up out of there. Sounds like
and like she saw what was going on. And to this day we're friends. I just went to her child's 4th birthday party. Because she was real. Most of the other, I can't even say half, 98% of everybody else in that school stood for whatever and let whatever happen.
And so I might not go is in depth, but it's like that's also what pushed me to want to do my own thing, is because like I tried to navigate the corporate America. And even when you are trying to go home, just do your work, go home, you get input into drama.
It comes with you.
And it comes with you. Or especially like, you know how we are, like I'm a chill ass dude. Like I know you are, bro. And there's been times where I've been thrown into instances or been like, hey, Greg doesn't seem that friendly because he doesn't hang out with us outside of work or something. Or like, Greg doesn't seem as friendly because he's not talking to us at the water cooler as much. But it's like me, I don't know if it's just the professionalism that my family and like everybody put into me. But it's like, when I'm at work, I'm here to work. I can shoot the shit with you. But if it's affecting my work, I'm
gonna tell you right now. My mom always told me the people at work are not your friends.
Exactly.
Because they will, whatever. Yes, first chance they get, whatever you tell them personal, they literally will use it against you.
Yeah.
They'll use it to suck up to somebody. They'll use it if they become jealous of you. If they use it if they're trying to get ahead. Like,
but I've also got it where like I've gotten both sides of it. Where I got my first job, got too comfortable, and then you see that stuff happening.
I've done that.
Yeah. And then I've learned my lessons, gotten to a few jobs, and it's even when you don't play those games, it's like, oh, he doesn't fit the culture. He doesn't want to do this, and he's not buddy with etc. And it's like, I think that's just their microaggressions and their way of pushing us out. Because it's like, I know for a fact I'm a good worker. I know for a fact that I give everybody respect, but it's been sometimes where it seemed like I almost got like pushed out. Yeah,
I feel you.
Are they?
I was the only. So the job, I lost a job.
Yeah.
That I was the only Black person at, until they hired a Black man in the position that they let me do for 3 months by myself when my superior left.
Yeah.
And they didn't even tell me they're hiring him.
Yeah.
And then let me go because
fit their quota. It's kind of
at this point, that's kind of what I feel like, because there was literally not a single other person of color.
Yeah.
And now there's once again a single person of color, but a man, which is better than a woman.
Yeah. And so
yeah.
And to me, that part doesn't make sense of how we really need to be focused on like the class, like, middle class, poor, rich, because men and women, first of all, I don't ever understand the hate against women, because first of all, they produce our future generations.
Yeah.
They literally, I mean, this is connected to pregnancy, but just like the 9 months they have to deal with, it's like, I don't want to hear any guy complain. Like the stuff my wife had to go through for both of our kids, bro. That's why I was like, honey, let me get that. Let me do that. Sit down. You need a back rub. Because it's like, guys really get off easy, all said and done. We couldn't deal with half that pain, half the stress. And so it's just like, I don't understand why they're like, oh, women get paid less. Why? Unless there's no, even if it was like both, if you were a construction worker, both, like, why? There's no reason.
Because gender norms before the 80s, 70s, whatever you want to call it.
So, and then it's like, also
they live on.
That kind of makes me go with like the race thing. But you know how like always when you're applying for a job and they're like, hey, reasonable accommodations, or like, hey, fill out this and tell us what race and stuff. We're just using it. It just always,
I hate that, to be honest.
And it always just kind of seems like, first of all, they don't ever reasonably accommodate you. I've had a couple people that had disabilities and had some other stuff, and they're always like, hey, we will. And then it's like, hey, but we're going to let you go because blah, blah, blah.
I've seen that too.
Yeah. So I've seen a lot of that. But then it's just like, I don't even know. I was going to go in. It's just like, it doesn't have to be like that. And I feel like they push us out of corporate America. And so like,
it's clearly on purpose.
And then
it's clearly systemic.
Yeah. And the kind of, I'm not going to like, somebody pointed this out to me and I love it. Quick Trip, but somebody pointed it out to me. I don't know if you guys have Quick Trip down here, but up where I am, we have a bunch of Quick Trips. They brought to my attention that like Quick Trip doesn't really hire people of color. Like I was like, damn,
you're actually right.
Yeah. Facts. I was like, yeah.
You're right. That's what I think about.
Yeah, so that blew my mind. And I'm like, and I've been to quite a bit KTs, and that makes me like,
I have too.
Yeah, and that makes me think where it's like, they obviously don't do it like straight up, but it's like,
to be fair, in certain parts of Wisconsin, there aren't many
but there
of us.
Is. But if anything, then shouldn't you have a better representation? It still doesn't mean you got how many employees in a KT.
That's fair.
Probably 20 people in there working the late shifts, whatever.
Yeah.
The fact that there's not
and even to be honest, I've walked into something that felt straight up racist.
Yeah. Well, that kind of just even makes me think, because it's like, I don't know if this has ever happened to you. And like shout out to all the jobs I have got opportunities, but like I've also felt like sometimes like I get the first interview, resume looks good.
Yes.
Able to effectively communicate what my resume does and like how it adds value to that job. And then when they get to that second interview where it's like an in-person or like a video call, it quickly seems like that deteriorates and it kind of doesn't happen.
100%.
So I wish that was unfortunately not the case, but I guess that made me just want to speak up on that. Keep getting my education, building my resume, which I was always taught, and just to kind of be genuine in myself and appreciate the opportunities that do come my way, because that's the people I want to work for, as opposed to somebody else.
What's interesting is I've been reached out to saying you have a very promising resume, and then that video call or that in person, and then all of a sudden you're not a candidate anymore.
It's like,
I've been there. And honestly, I feel like my hair now, I did not have natural hair forever, and I didn't have locks forever. Like, to be honest, I do see a little bit of a difference in how I'm treated in certain areas. Or like
better or worse?
Worse, for sure.
Really?
Or in different areas, or different, like, I guess, interviews and things. There has been a difference. Even like, I would say, even being pulled over in the suburbs, I've seen a difference in how I've been treated a little bit. But like recently, not so much. I don't know if that's because of the fact that I now like live in the city itself, and so it's not uncommon. I actually get a lot more compliments now.
Nice.
So it's shifting a little bit, but there's still people who will look at you sideways just because you emanate too much blackness. Like,
well, I guess that also, because I was thinking about this too, where it's like, that's why like the hate on social media, or like, I don't get a lot of it or anything, but it's always people saying something slick. It's like that stuff doesn't affect me much, because like if you've ever were African American, to have somebody hate you for nothing other than your color, it's like, you mad at me for nothing? Like, what is that going to do to me?
Honestly, it's like,
that's more
they're
energy.
Probably taking 10 years off their life, having hatred every time they look at a black person. Like,
it's like, and I'm over
here.
Don't
that get exhausting?
So it's like, I know it's exhausting. You can see it on your face type shit.
So, like, you just look angry.
So like, I don't know, but I think that being said, with you having your opportunities, I get opportunities. I think there is room for genuine, positive people.
Yes.
It's just, we
need a shift in culture, though, to be honest.
I've been seeing
we need to be able to put that in the forefront,
and
push the positivity and the unity instead of everybody wanting to be first and only. And that's still a part of the culture in Milwaukee, especially. Well, I can't even say just in the creative culture. It's everywhere.
But like, I would even say like it was, like you said, a culture thing to where, not to tie it in with a bunch of stuff, but like even just the predatory culture and all about money culture, with like P. Diddy finally coming down for all his shit. I feel like people are kind of, that's a shift in itself, because then now people aren't going to really feel the need to go out to Hollywood or do these big movies, and kind of maybe more independent instead of getting taken advantage of. But like, also, I even like, you can kind of see it in the music, where it's like, it used to be a lot of like Juice WRLD emo music the last few years. And even the music's kind of getting a little bit more like positive, trying to like combat like what we're going through now.
For sure.
So we're like, I think it's like really honestly like a perfect time for like what we're doing. I see there's a couple news outlets that do a little bit more positive stuff, as opposed to like a World Star that only posts some negative shit. So I think like,
that gets exhausting.
It does get exhausting, and even it doesn't help us. That's why it's like,
it doesn't.
There's some videos I laugh at or whatever, but it's just like, I feel like those videos do more harm
for sure
than anything. So I just think we got to keep doing what we're doing. Watch out for the snakes and the scams and stuff, which is going to be hard. But I think, like I said, the universe is waiting to give us those opportunities.
Imagine being a snake named Scales.
Yo, that's crazy though. That's a bar though. Damn near a bar.
It really is.
But like,
sorry, continue.
No, that was hard.
When you said snakes, I'm like, ain't no way. Like, the universe was telling me, man.
Facts, though. So, but it's like, the universe definitely got some stuff in store for us.
For sure.
I always kind of get tired of where I'm like, damn, bro, I'm getting old, man. It's not where I want to be. But I'm like,
I feel you.
We're only 32. Like, we figured out we had to go through what we did in our 20s to make it now. And I mean, I'm up here with the homie from high school that barely talk.
That barely talk.
barely talk. up to talking an hour plus,
For sure.
About to go shoot some content. And like you said, we're slowly carving out our lives to where like maybe 5 years from now, you don't have to go to a job or
exactly.
And we're just doing this all the time.
And I feel like now is also the time when we start making our genuine connections, our genuine friends, our genuine like work, but people that we want to work with continuously. Facts. Because of the fact that we're discerning and we're also at an age where we know ourselves, and you can tell when other people know themselves. Facts. And then you lock in with the real ones. So
I'm excited. Like I said,
me too.
Go shoot this content because I know my baby girl is probably giving my wife a hard time.
Yeah. So let's wrap it up.
Yes, sir. Greg. But like I said, I'm always happy to come through. I'm excited to hear that EP. Maybe I could get a sneak peek.
For sure.
Might have to leak something.
Shoot, I might let you hear it today.
Yeah, type shit. But all right. Appreciate it, Kendall.
Thank you. Yeah, no also, Greg, anytime you want to come back, you're always welcome.
Ooh, I might have to.
We can lock in for a radio show too if you want. So
definitely. Okay.
All right, for sure.
I'd love to do that. Like I said, I'm always working on some stuff, so I'll send it your way and we can get something figured out.
Perfect. For Greg Conley, everybody. Thanks for being here, Greg.
Appreciate it,
and
guys.
Thank you all for watching. We'll talk to you next time on KB's Community.
Facts, you got too many shows. Get her a TV network, for real. We'll take a picture. I'm going to be basic. Cool.
I hope he cuts the end.
What part of that? With the scales?
No, and I said I have to go to the bathroom.
That's it. You did snap with the scales, though. He's like,
I think I put that on social media too. Scales the snake looking ass.
Type shit.
Make sure you send me the pictures.
Yes, sir.
I also have this if you want to use it.
Yeah. I was like, we can just do it. I think
sometimes it's just too much work.
I know. That's why I was like, like it is.
Oh shit.
And then also, I'm always scared to put my phone on that shit because it's like, yep. So I'm like, damn. I think we good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Shoot, I gotta pee.
Facts, I feel you, man. I damn near gotta pee too. But you need that. Did I get that key back?
But you only have the men's key.
Oh,
you have the woman's key, but it's missing.
Damn. Do you need this stuff?
I don't know if it works.
No, I mean, you could go to the men's real quick.
Oh, you're right. Actually.
Type shit.
Everybody go here and talking about the men's.
Well, no, I thought you were able to touch on some shit.
Yeah, for sure. It really went all over the place.
I know.
Like it. But it was all over the place. But there was a stream of consciousness.
Yeah. No, facts. And also, I felt like
really all over the place.
I felt like with being like in the middle class black, bro, I feel like that never really gets talked about.
For sure.
So I'm like, bro, I remember my cousins coming to that shit talking shit.
They were talking shit about Issa Rae recently for freaking producing a movie about girls in the hood. Like, you think she'd never been to the hood before? You think she never went to her cousin's house and spent weeks at a time there?
Yeah,
like, bro, black is black. Like, well, I mean, some of us, but usually.
Yeah, but like I said, the white people in it. I remember